Hi, welcome to this week's Think Tank. I'm doing a little bit of a different think tank, or we are doing a little bit of a different think tank this week. I'm actually in Sydney. I'm stuck here. The border's closed. I came down a couple of weeks ago to see my son, who's in isolation down here, and I'm now stuck here. So this is week 4, but it's all good. Spring is in the air, and what better location to be sitting than outside in the fresh spring air. Hopefully the wind doesn't get too crazy. And we're also talking this week about spring cleaning. Spring cleaning your office, spring cleaning your workload, and spring cleaning your portfolio if you're in property management. But it also relates to sales as well. This time of year is really good time of year to maybe spring clean your listing presentation kits, spring clean your database, get in touch and spruce up some conversations with your clients. It's never too late or never a better time of year than to get a fresh perspective and start on things. So without me waffling on too much further, I want to now move on to the 3 simple steps for spring cleaning, and that is number 1 is spring cleaning your personal space. So we all get stuck throughout the year, files pile up around us. So this time of year is really great to take stock of those files, paperwork, in trays, and really go through them, set some time aside, block your day out, tell everybody you're on Do Not Disturb, and go about dealing with all the issues in those files. And number 2 is clean out your inboxes. Nothing frustrates me more or throws me off my Zen workspace than my inbox being out of control. But I am OCD with it, I will admit. Our motto is deal with it, delegate it, or do it. Never defer it unless you absolutely have to. And also set your inbox up with some new folders, archive some old stuff, and just really give it a really good tidy up. If you're operating out of several inboxes, for example, in property management, you might be using Property Me or Property Tree inboxes as well. Try to have some strict rules around the management of those. For example, we forward all of our owner and tenant and maintenance and supplier emails from Outlook into Property Me at the start of every day, and we deal with all the responses from Property Me. And that way then there's a track record, everything's archived all in the one sort of place. So that really helps us organise that side of things. And then number 3 is organising your portfolio. In sales, this might be your database or various other things that you might need to take a once a year look at. So in property management, portfolios can get out of control. Lots of little things get put to the side, get shoved under files. This is a really good time to take stock of exactly where your portfolio is at and deal with all those little underlying issues. If you don't track your KPIs or your team's tasks every month, this could potentially be a really big job. I'll just quickly show you. I'll jump on at I Think Property. We track ours monthly. And we just have a very, very simple spreadsheet. It's got our arrears, it's got our vacancies, it's got our loss managements, it's got properties that we've leased for the month, outstanding lease renewals, outstanding maintenance over 30 days is also tracked there as well. So that's really quick and easy way just for your team leaders or your business owners to keep track of where everything is at or where your team's at on a monthly basis. But if you're not doing that on a monthly basis, then it could be a really big job, I'm sorry to say. But nevertheless, it's got to be done. So there are certain tasks that do need priority when it comes to spring cleaning your portfolio. And I'll go through those tasks in a minute, but I just want to quickly pop into Property Me now and just show you, if you go into the reports section of Property Me, you can actually download all the important reports that you want through this reporting section. So for example, if you wanted to do a bond report and check out if there's any tenants that have to pay more, top up their bond, or have paid too much bond, or have vacated and still have bond in there, You can download a bond report here and go through that. Lease renewals, outstanding maintenance, that's a big job that often gets put to the side by property managers. You can go through, check your owner's details, your owner's fees, make sure there's no owners that have been set up and they're not actually charging fees. And then you can also jump in over here to your trust account side of things and just make sure that all of that is on board, that you're not holding money that you shouldn't be, that you're collecting all your let fees, and just do a bit of an audit of those as well is also handy. Now, moving on, as I discussed, there's certain tasks that need to be tackled in your spring clean. Now, the major one is, well, the major two, all owners hate or have issues if there's money owing to them. It's going to cause problems. So that should be the first thing that you track as part of your spring clean. Go through your rent arrears, get on top of serial offenders, and we all know who they are. Jump in, give them a call, put them on payment plans, do whatever you can to try and get them 2 weeks in advance. And then also, if there's money owing, if tenants have vacated and they owe money above the bond, or that you've been to court and there's still money owing that hasn't been paid back to the owner, make sure you follow up all of those. Tenants on payment plans, and also update your owners on what you've done to try to recover those funds for them. That's really important. They want to know that you're working in their best interest and trying to recoup any money that's owed to them. Outstanding leases is another big one. If we don't keep on track of them, and these should be done sort of 2 to 3 months in advance, otherwise tenants can get to the point where they only have to give you 2 weeks notice to vacate, and that's not a lot of time to have the property advertised and to secure advertised, and time for you to secure a new tenant, and that can really irritate a lot of owners if we haven't been proactive in getting those leases back well in advance. Another good one to track, and this is one that all property managers are guilty of, is overdue maintenance. In our system, anything over 14 days is considered overdue maintenance. And we like to track and find out from our suppliers where they're up to with the job. Sometimes it's an owner that needs to give us approval to proceed with the job, but it is ultimately the property manager's responsibility to be following up that overdue maintenance. Sometimes stuff can sit in there for 6-12 months, and that's not ideal because the tenants at this stage are getting very annoyed, and the number one reason tenants leave is because of maintenance not being done. Routine inspection reports. That's another good one to track in your spring clean. Sometimes you do all your reports, but they sit in there and you forget to send them. You've got busy doing other things. So go through, make sure all your reports have been sent, and also make sure that it's a good time to do an audit to make sure that there's any reports that haven't missed out on a routine inspection in the last sort of quarter or 6 months. So those were the top things to cover off on. A couple of little extra audits that I always get our team to do, usually every 6 months, and that is, I just mentioned, routine inspections. Any properties that haven't been inspected in a while, you need to really get in and make sure that they're inspected. That is part of your service to landlords. Tenants that are vacated and still owe money, that's an important one. A bond audit. Making sure that all your bonds have been finalised. Sometimes the bond money comes back and it sits in a portfolio or in a property, and just somebody has forgotten to pay the invoices or disperse the extra rent to the tenant. All vacated tenants and lost managements have been archived. Go through, if you're still using electronic files, it's a good time to do an audit. Check that you've got all your important paperwork, Form 6s, tenancy agreements, entry condition reports, application forms are the top ones that you need to make sure are in all your hard copy files. It could also be, a spring clean could also include going paperless. I tell you what, it is liberating. We have been paperless for probably close to 12 months now. Best thing we ever did. Another good check is owners' insurance details are up to date. Also suppliers' insurance details are up to date. Your team licenses, they all need to be up to date. And it's a good time of year to do a trust account check as well. But as I mentioned before, once a year is probably too little, you probably need to be implementing these checks and spring cleans of your portfolio or your business a lot more regularly than just once a year. So, and again, all of that sort of stuff can be implemented in a sales team as well, taking a good stock of where you're up to. It might even be as simple as some old stock that you've got there, spring cleaning that, sprucing that up, getting some price reductions, getting some new photos, some new advertising, some new marketing, and getting some sold signs up there. Hope that helps, and enjoy spring, enjoy summer, and we'll be back soon with some more Think Tank for you. I'm not sure what the topic is next week, but stay tuned. We'll have some valuable content on its way for you. Thanks, guys.